I'm a bird, mother. I'm a bird.
CD Projekt Red is cooked.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Nice and sweet. I mean, short and sweet. Also nice and sweet.
Massive transformation occurring in the video game industry right before our eyes, and many people don't even see it happening. CD Projekt Red,
Like, the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm like kind of mad about it. This game could have been so great. Like, I love Witcher so much. The way this game looks, it could have been so great. But they just had to put their foot in their mouth.
Red is a prime example for it, and although the studio seems to be crumbling from the inside out, it does give us hope that change is coming, and for the better. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT, and CD Projekt Red is falling apart at the seams, with many top-level developers leaving.
Ooh.
I think it's a big W, them leaving.
I think so too.
Because them leaving means they'll be working on something else.
Yep.
That's a big W for us.
Mass exodus to form their own companies.
Hold it! Hold it! This is a big W. I'm excited. Oh my god. I am so excited.
Let's see what they are going to be cooking up the next few years.
Oh, it's gonna be good. If it's people who are in charge. Oh, yes. This is gonna be good.
Yup.
Because they're so sick and tired of just how woke CD Projekt Red has become that they can't take it anymore. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article discussing how...
And this alone is a marketing thing that's gonna skyrocket them in the hearts of gamers right away.
CD Projekt Red is falling apart at the seams right now, but it's not all bad news because the people leaving the company are forming their own, and these are very talented people that don't want to deal with wokeness. As if the trailer for The Witcher 4 didn't expose the reality to everyone already, the once incredibly celebrated studio of CD Projekt Red now finds themselves in the all too familiar position these days with many other major AAA studios. Huge waves of many of the most important developers have decided to leave CD Projekt Red and instead form their own alliances and new studios, all because they're sick and tired of woke ideologies being forced upon them at their original workplace. Hey, maybe there's some hope for gaming after all. You know,
I mean, there's always hope. There's always hope. Just don't put your hope in AAA company. Well, majority of them.
Yeah.
Right now, it's the AA companies where it's at, and also some indie companies.
You know, sometimes it feels like it's all doom and gloom on this channel with everything going to hell, but here's a situation where we see developers themselves taking a step back saying, yeah, no, this is actually stealing away our creative freedoms, and we're not going to stand for it. The currently ongoing mass exodus isn't just a basic shift of unimportant, meaningless people leaving a company. It's way bigger than that, and it's a clear reflection to everyone witnessing of the much deeper cultural and operational issues going on within CD Projekt Red. The overwhelming stench of woke mindsets and toxic positivity has filled the hallways of the once prestigious
And toxic work environment. We constantly need to underline that. People like this, they will have a hard time working in an environment where all they care about is talking about personal matters instead of actual work, instead of actual passion.
organization. That in itself has stifled the exciting creative freedoms that the team morale used to enjoy previously. Some could even argue that CD Projekt Red at one point was leading the industry with the creative freedoms that they gave their developers. But that time is long gone. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. First off, the big studio spin-off from CD Projekt Red is a new alliance from major former players of CD Projekt Red. It's called Rebel Wolves, and this is the most significant blow to CD Projekt Red's roster. Rebel Wolves is spearheaded by Konrad Tomaskiewicz, and my goodness, the last names on some of these people, I'm not even going to try to get through them because they are brutal. But that doesn't mean that they're not creative. This guy's the former director of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and this new studio was formed directly as a result of CD Projekt Red's recent incompetence.
So imagine the team, the top developers of Witcher 3 with the new technology that exists working on a new game.
Yeah.
Without any creative limitations. Holy hell, I'm excited.
They're gonna make an awesome game.
I'm already guaranteeing it's gonna be probably an RPG, maybe with co-op, maybe, and it's gonna be mind-blowing.
In leadership, Tom Eskowitz, who left CD Projekt Red over allegations of bullying, which he denied and was later cleared of, because let's be honest, this is one of those tactics that the woke left always seems to go and cry, bullying, I'm being bullied, every time they don't get their way. And for a very long time, it used to work. But not anymore. People are wising up to it. People throw lawsuits at people saying they're getting bullied. It doesn't work. Among the other people that have been reunited with Rebel Wolves includes Bartolomej Goel, the art director of The Witcher 3. They've come together to create what they are promising to be a AAA dark fantasy RPG saga using Unreal Engine.
Hold it again.
Yep. It's gonna be a dark fantasy RPG, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
That's gonna be kicking, babe.
They are the reasons why Witcher 3 was so great.
5. And while reviewing their entire website, one point stood out to me among everything else. That's where they stated, we decided to create our own studio and run it on our own terms. Chief among them, the team comes first. Always. Happy people make great games. Games players want and deserve. Yes, it's as simple as that. Read between the lines, by the way, because if you guys have been paying attention to any of the videos I've been making recently, it's ironic how many of these studios are giving you slop and saying, eat this, we don't care if you want it or not. Here's a development studio that's saying, we want to make games that gamers want to play. I know, it's a really novel concept, but stay with me here because I feel like they might be onto something. Rebel Wolves secured a strategic investment from NetEase, which...
Of course, NetEase. NetEase right now is trying... Yeah, NetEase is trying to capitalize on how heavily the AAA companies are crashing. NetEase is definitely... They don't stop people creatively. Like, for example, we have Marvel Rivals as an example. How many times do we hear how, oh, the women are too, too suggestive and all of that? So we already know there's gonna be no censorship happening there.
Isn't without its own controversies attached to it already, being based out of communist China. You gotta take a step back with all this and see what's happening right before our eyes. Wokeness is destroying companies across the world at breakneck speed. And who seems to always be the one to show up and swoop in to invest at the very bottom? China. And they aren't even hiding it anymore. It's almost like...
Why would they hide? They obviously are providing better games than the Western companies.
Yeah, I don't think this has anything to do with the countries and stuff like that. It's just a company knowing that where the wind is flowing and they're going with the wind.
And it's companies who actually understand, maybe provide a product to a customer that the customer actually wants. And not you forcing the customer to want it. I know it's crazy, but hear me out. Maybe don't force people to buy something they don't like.
These people are masters of communism and they know how to win. Thomas Kowitz was quoted as stating, funding provided by NetEase was the last missing piece needed to go full throttle. With resources available to build a world-class AAA game, we can now focus on what matters most, development. So they have the financial backing and the talent now to make a high-quality AAA game in Unreal Engine. And honestly, just hearing those pieces coming together, it's pretty exciting. Then we have, parallel to Rebel Wolves, another studio being formed out of former members of CD Projekt Red called Blank Studios. Formed by Mateusz Koenig, who was both the game director for Cyberpunk 2077 and the
And for people who love Cyberpunk, there you go. You have a home too. The Witcher fans have a home, and the Cyberpunk fans have a home.
If you want a dark fantasy vibe, go with Rebel Wolves. If you want the cyber dystopian world, you go with this one.
Co-game director for The Witcher 3, alongside executive producers Jedriz Mraz and Marcin Jefrimo, Blank aims to redesign game development. They've created a studio with a philosophy rooted in collaboration over individual dictatorship, work-life balance over crunch culture, and quality over quantity.
So this all sounds like they're going back how the gaming companies before they became AAA. They have the same mottos now that they used to have way back in the day. So I guess you could consider this the gaming world is healing itself because it's regrowing now.
Basically, anything but woke when looking through this website. It just feels like these are hardcore gamers looking to make hardcore games for hardcore gamers. I know, it's crazy. Again, looking at these very talented developers that were all but driven out completely of CD Projekt Red because they didn't align ideologically with a company that was completely infected with the woke mind virus. Kinnick was quoted stating, "We're ready to make bold, impactful projects that share our unique creativity and values." Kinnick left CDPR after a 15-year tenure. The reason? He's tired of being politically correct. He highlighted the studio's mission to create games that aren't just bigger, but better in terms of emotional impact, storytelling, and craftsmanship. And
Yep, because I'm honestly so tired of seeing all these like new AAA games. They're even like besides them trying to push new age politics and agenda in it, it's developed always so buggy, and I am tired paying $70 to be a game tester.
And I gotta tell you guys, looking at what's transpiring right now with this mass exodus at CD Projekt Red, that there is going to be an onslaught. You just watch, and you can quote me on this. When these games come out, there'll be some sort of controversy that these games journalists out there, the professional
If they will last that long, because the game quote-unquote journalists are also in danger right now.
Yeah, they are extremely endangered.
They are being discredited left and right for biases and really bad practices. If they will still be around, they definitely will try to pull the same thing they pulled with game science.
journals in the industry will take issue with and try to tear down because they fly directly in the face of the woke mind virus. And that doesn't fly with these people that have been so accustomed to living in a world for so long where they are the cancel culture mafia, and they will end you if you decide to break away from their cult. From Blank's website, they state, "Currently, we are working on a character-driven story from an apocalypse with a twist
Let's
or
go.
two. We've had our share of creating huge, super complicated games with open worlds. That's why we focus on simpler goals. Uniqueness, emotions, quality, and refinement. We put our passion and dedication into our craft, and we're eagerly looking forward to letting you play some of the compelling narratives we're working on. Rest assured, we will share more details when the time is right." And as far as investments from external sources, yep, this company Blank also got that from Neowitz, a South Korean game company best known for Lies of P. In November,
Oh my god. Okay, so we have the Witcher team with China, and we have the Cyberpunk team with South Korea.
Yo, Western gaming is cooked.
I'm sorry. I love this. I'm loving this. One company recently provided Marvel Rivals, the other company recently provided Lies of P.
November of 2023, it was announced that Blank secured $17 million in investment from Neowitz. And you begin to see a clear picture, a constant theme, a trend, if you will. People that are sick and tired of working at CD Projekt Red because of the woke ideologies that's taken over the company, and they're leaving and creating their own studios in the wake. And it's not
That's not the only thing they're creating. They're also creating an example to other senior developers who who worked on amazing games, that they can get together and they can leave their toxic environment and they can succeed doing that. This is the main thing that they are setting in motion right now, that you don't have to stick with these horrible AAA companies. You can disconnect from them and have backing and support.
not just one or two people creating a single studio, it's tons of very high level important developers saying they are done with it, moving on and forming their own studios. So in a weird way, this kind of gives me a glimmer of hope for the future of gaming, saying that every time the pendulum swings way too far one direction, there's always going to be the balance, the counter, the shift of employee dynamics where they go create their own studios to make the creative choices, decisions, and magical game experience that so many gamers just want to play in the first place. It will happen. It just isn't a straight road to get there. For CD Projekt Red, the constant and ongoing loss of pivotal figures is foreshadowing for the declining creative output and a significant pivot in their entire development culture. The departure of these folks to start...
Well, of course your creativity is gonna be on decline. When you're working in an environment, especially a creative environment, where instead of telling a story, you have to push political stuff. And you have to push a specific issue that wouldn't even exist in that specific fantasy world. It kinda heavily cripples your storytelling.
Fresh on their own studios like Rebel Wolves and Blank isn't just a move out of sheer frustration, but also a bright signal to the entire video game industry for the future. As these new studios begin to lay down their markers in the gaming landscape, I'll be watching very closely to see what comes from it. Will Rebel Wolves and Blank redefine what it means to make RPGs in the modern era? Well, we can dream, and I'm going to, because this, above all else, gives me hope for the future in gaming. That there are based developers that just want to make great games for gamers that want to play great games. And I know, it sounds so basic, so stupid when you say it like that, but when you're covering the industry for as long as I have and you see what's been transpiring, it's like, holy crap, this is just a large relief to hear it, and I'm looking forward to see what comes from it. As far as CD Projekt Red, it just seems to me like they're going to continue spiraling the drain into obsolescence because, honestly, nobody cares, especially when they're pushing the girl boss narrative with The Witcher 4 and the direction they're going with the...
So now I'm even more convinced Witcher 4 is gonna be horrible. Their senior developers left. Their senior team left. So all the people that are going to be working on Witcher 4 are going to be inexperienced activists.
Hardcore wokeness of the company, even though they argue that they're not. Everything we find out about them is everything but them telling the truth. Because, of course, why would they be honest to anyone? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article. If you appreciate what I'm doing...
Okay, this is great news by CD Projekt Red, High Wolves, and Blank.